is faux feminism. I'm over empowerment brunches. I am over companies who use feminism to sell everything from shampoo to sneakers. I'm over my workout teachers yelling feminist mantras at me to get me to do more crunches. I'm not here. I am not here to be a warrior. I'm here because my jeans are tight and Memorial Day is right around the corner. And I think overall, I mean, it just feels very feminism-like to me, like we're trying to make it palatable. And the real fight for power and parity for women is not going to be as neat as a hashtag or as elegant as a well-cut commercial. It's going to be really real. So I think we need to make sure we don't give the illusion of progress and distract ourselves from the fight that really has to be had.
That's hard.
Think about what we say when we call somebody a strong black woman. Okay, we celebrate their strength, but really we're celebrating your emotional stoicism, your ability to endure pain and abuse and exploitation and not crack. And we're deflecting from the systems that put you in a place where you can be exploited.
Yes.
And that's...
Girl, don't be taking me to church
Right.
on Friday.
And that's the issue.
You cannot be woke or AKA conscious and oppressed woman. You got to decide, do you want to be Nat Turner or Ike Turner? You do not get to be both. Second of all, and instead of placing the emphasis on the clothes and seeing a magazine where the cover might say, pink is in for spring, now they're going to place the emphasis on the body. And then we're going to create problems where problems didn't exist. So if you look at a Vogue magazine from 1969, now it says cosmetic surgery for every, literally says cosmetic surgery for every part of your body. And their idea was that if they could induce feelings of insecurity and then promote the fashion and the beauty products as the solution to that insecurity, they could continue selling you not just magazines, but all these other products. And that's the whole purpose of beauty. You will never attain it because as soon as you attain it, the standard is going to change. So you're supposed to be spending your coins on chasing this ever-changing ideal that you will never reach because it's a function of capitalism, patriarchy, and racism.
Men are socialized to go for what they want. Women are socialized to be nice. It's not always nice to say what you want. So if you're not socialized to be assertive, how can you go into a relationship and tell somebody what you want? You're too nervous about, is he going to like me? So I'm going to be passive-aggressive and give you hints and be angry when you don't catch the hint.
Damn. The idea is that we inhabit the masculine and feminine. And in a patriarchal society, not only do you suppress women by attempting to dominate women and normalize violence against each other, but also women, but you also suppress the feminine, that actual energy, and you suppress it in men, and you suppress it also a lot of times in women in healthy ways.
It does speak to some of the issues with our casual sex culture and some of the issues with the way that we raise women to be powerless. And this is what I think men don't understand, how if you're not being directly coerced, you could still feel like you don't have the power to say no. So we are a culture that is predicated on a virgin birth. Right? We have this idea that a woman can be a Madonna or you can be a whore. So whether or not you are a vessel for a male god to come into this world or you're a vessel for a man to have pleasure, either way you're a vessel. You are a sex object, not a sex agent.
And we look at semen like it's holy oil. It won't bless you. It's not crazy glue. It's not glue. It won't put you back together. It's not a substitute for therapy. It's not a cure for loneliness. And it's, it's just sex. And I think we got to see what happens in this broader culture where, yes, women have agency, they have access, they can have whole phases, they're entitled to that, and in part that's a good thing, but the catch is we've created this culture where sex is so easy, where the cost, in air quotes, because I don't just mean financial cost, but the cost of vagina is so damn low that we created this culture where women cannot get their needs met. So outside of those sexual needs, we can't get those other needs like emotional reciprocity and all of that, loyalty and all of that met as well. So we got to see the double-edged sword of women having sexual agency.
Polyandry benefits women outside the context of a patriarchy. Polygamy benefits women because then the Kobe Bryants of the world get to have multiple wives and concubines. So everybody, all the women get a man. The issue is broke men don't get women. So monogamy is the way that we can ensure that average Joes get to get married too. So the truth is,
when you understand evolution, you understand that for women, if they did not consider a man's ability to protect and provide, it was literally a matter of life and death for the earliest human beings. So it's encoded in our DNA. And I think the only reason that we even question women who do that is because we've created a society in which we make it far easier for men to get their needs met and significantly harder for women to do the same. And fundamentally, men are uncomfortable being scrutinized for their finances in the way that they scrutinize women for their beauty.
First of all, this is power, okay?
Thanks, babe.
Food is power.
It is.
But it literally is.
Yeah.
But empathy is a power because it's like it connects you to people.
Right.
Like the shortest distance between two people is a story. It's finding that common ground. It's me being able to connect to you. And that is a form of power. When you get people to want to follow you without coercion, that's the ultimate power.
Yes.
Word.
Now I do salsa. Again, not a lot of black women. And what I realize is that a lot of other cultures sort of hold their cultural identity and their cultural production very close to their chest. So even though there are other people who participate, you're a visitor in their culture. And when it comes to culture that's produced from the African American experience, it's up for grabs. So when we look at hip hop, when we look at jazz, and we look at R&B, when we look at funk at this point, you can see anybody of any complexion, of any ethnicity, of any place on the continent, in the world, really, participating in everything really besides gospel, and that's just because the church is still this very segregated place. So the question is, why is it that everyone else is allowed to participate and profit off of our culture, but we're not entitled to that same invitation?
Years from now, we'll look back at this moment in time and say this is the point which activism really changed. And there's always been this tension between can you be an activist but also be paid by the same institutions that you act against.
Now, upon closer inspection of the flag, this is the flag that ISIS is using, but it says a very common Islamic message written in Arabic. It actually says La ilaha illallah, which means there's no God but Allah. That's very common. It's throughout the Quran. You'll hear Muslims say that all the time. His flag, he's actually had it for 10 years.
So I kind of think that Kanye is almost like that cardboard cutout where I actually think he has somewhat transcended race in the sense that if you see Kanye from a distance, he's a black man, but up close, the cops will go, oh, it's Kanye West. And he has the privilege of being able to say things like slavery was a choice and being able to say MAGA because he does not have to deal with the very real psychological and physical terrorism that people who look like him are actually dealing every day.
It's about not resisting. It's about relaxing. It's about being present. It's about appreciating exactly where you are. And more than anything, it's learning to value your instinct as well as your intellect.
Opal, at least in this context, is a representation of the way women's bodies are a source of healing, almost like emotional ShamWow. Because what happens is they almost turn Nola into like what the typical male role is. You've got this emotionally avoidant person. She's scared of enmeshment. She deals with some sort of hurt or pain or trauma, and rather than face it, she goes to a woman and gives that woman her pain. That hip hop has always given a voice to the oppressed and to marginalized people, and it has always been this very valuable tool. I mean, I think Nas's Illmatic is like, the Moby Dick of the hood. It's like it is a form of literature. Reevaluating what it is that makes women fabulous and powerful, and dismantling a lot of the ideas, the baggage that we saddle women with that sort of checks their ambition and it checks their ability to live their best life.
Right.
Okay.
I mean, I just brilliant. Right. Like this is what I deal with all the time. Is just brilliance. But not only she that, but like if you really get to know her and see her on social media, you'll know that she's a competitive salsa dancer.
And I love that. I love that.
I was surprised.
Right.